Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Music 101. Music 101 is created to empower music itself and legendary icon in the music industry. And today I have my special guest. He is a musician of the band Phillouette, no other than Mr. Lucas Phillips.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, Mr. Lucas, and thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And can you please introduce yourself?
I am, in the man. I'm one of the two members in Phillouette, and we just make online music. But I'm gonna hoping to play drums on the second album because all of it's synthesized. And then I'm also the drummer in the band Prat Farti, which is gonna have some more new music gonna be coming out here soon.
So they are the same genre of music of this same band that you are playing with.
So Phillouette is more all over the map. I say like it's a blend of like rock and like hip hop and R&B. Like it's a more of a mixed bag. And then Pratt Party is more of like a hard rock like metal band, which is more like Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace kind of style. But yeah, they're both great bands, and I'm excited for both of them.
Congratulations! So
Thank you.
what are the key elements to consider when composing a melody?
Um, for Pratt Farty, we just start by like our guitarist comes in with like a riff or two, and we just kind of take it from there. It's like a pretty easy process. Like we just have ideas for all different songs, and then with Phillouette, me and my friend, we just have demos. Like some of us go in the studio and just like start making music, and we're like, oh, that's a cool thing, let's add that for a new song. And then yeah, we just come up with these cool things, and we just keep updating them until they're perfect.
Wow, interesting, Mr. Likis. So, how do you find inspiration for new musical compositions?
Usually I find inspiration when I'm kind of when we're about done with the song, I want to start on a new one. I'll just add in a new song and just like kind of create like some of it, like a bass line of the song to come, and then we'll just keep updating it till we like it. That's for Phillouette. With Pratt Farty, we're mostly doing covers right now, but we'll soon expand into original music.
So, what kind of covers that you are playing?
We're playing a couple different ones. We're playing "Fairies Wear Boots" by Black Sabbath. We're playing "Sober" by Tool, and we're playing a couple more. We're playing Bully by 3 Days Grace, The Diary of Jane by Breaking Benjamin, and there's a few more. I can't really think of them right now, but yeah, those are just a few of them.
So, what techniques can be used to create a memorable hook in a song?
Usually, I want to make it kind of have a part that I can like hear people like liking that certain part of the song, and I want it to come back to some like kind of like like a chorus where that's like kind of that part where people remember it, that, and then kind of change it out through the song, but kind of keep it in that same vein throughout the song, just kind of different in different parts of the song.
Interesting. Mr. Likis, so how important is the structure in a song?
um it's pretty important. I mean, as far as just repeat or like something that you're gonna remember, it's pretty important because you want to like have some like kind of like a chorus, like you want to hear that again throughout the song. And then but sometimes there's certain songs like Bohemian Rhapsody where it doesn't have a specific chorus, but it still is really memorable. So if you want like its melody is like really important if you want it to be memorable.
Yes, for sure. What are some effective ways to blend lyrics with music?
It just all depends on how the song sounds for me. Like if it's more of an upbeat song, it can be have more like upbeat, lyrics. But if it's more of a, like somber song or a darker song, it could have more dark lyrics. And it mostly depends on like, how the song sounds for me.
Very well said, Mr. Lucas. But before we go on, I want to shout out my listeners in Mexico or Mexico. Muchas gracias, Mexico, for supporting this podcast. Because in Jalisco got 20%, Mexico City at 15, Sinaloa, Nuevo León, Tabasco, Sonora, Estado de Mexico, Coahuila, Puebla, and a lot more. Thank you, Mexico, or muchas gracias todos for supporting this podcast because this podcast is created to empower musician like Mr. Lucas Phillips. So, Mr. Lucas, how do you approach writing music for different genres?
It's usually depends on my current, like mood. Like if I'm in kind of like a chill mood, I want to make like a chill song. That's probably how I approach it. But if I want to make a heavier song, I will make a heavier song. And yeah, and usually I like to add different kind of genre blends into one song just to make it real unique for that.
Interesting. So, what role do harmony and counterpoint play in your compositions?
I'd say in Phillouette, they play a really big role because my singer Julian, my other bandmate, he likes to, what he does, since we don't have any other band members besides me and him, and I don't sing either. So what he does is he sings one line and then he harmonizes it in a different pitch or in a different kind of cadence in the song, so it sounds really cool, and a lot of that's going to be on the No Trespassing remaster, which we'll be putting out later this year, and I'm really excited for everyone to hear it.
Looking forward for that. So, how do you
Yeah.
balance complexity and simplicity in your music?
Um, what we do is we try to make it fairly complex just to, not have it be, every single song you hear on the radio is fairly simple. So we add some different elements, some overlaying, different musical parts to it. But in a way that still kind of makes it simple because they all blend together well. But at the same time, when you hear, like, different parts in a song like on their own, you can hear that it's actually more complex than you thought.
What is your process for selecting the right instruments for a composition?
um well, I'd say mostly it can we tie it usually together with mostly acoustic instruments like actual guitar and drums and bass, and then we can add, underlaying like digital instruments like synths and piano and like sound effects, and we can all just tie that together and make it sound cool. And it doesn't have to be in the same section of the song either. Like in the song from our second album that we'll also be putting out later this year, there's a part where it shifts from like a rock part all the way into like this synthy, like really like lo-fi, like chillax part before going back into the rock, which I really enjoy.
Yes. How do you deal with writer's block when composing music?
Well, it depends. If I usually get writer's block, I can most of the time I just take a break and then after a while come back and I'll have kind of like a clear head and keep writing. And yeah, if I'm like really unsure of what to do with a song, I can just switch off to that song, maybe go work on another song, then come back, see if that problem's resolved in my brain.
Can you describe the process of creating a song from start to finish?
Um, well, what Phillouette does is we like to just hop in the studio and just add in a few. We like to get down what the song's going to sound like first, just kind of like the basic melody, and then just go from there. Sometimes the demo can be completely different than the final track, but it's good because we can be able to kind of get a baseline of what we hear for that's going to be in the final song. And we'll just kind of take it from there, keep adding new things, maybe change it up a little bit until we really perfect it and, cash it out. And then once it's as perfect as you want to get it, we'll be done with it and just move on to another song.
Very well said, Mr. Lucas. So, how do you ensure that song conveys the intended emotion or message?
It's a lot of like, if we're having lyrics for a dark song, we'd have more of a darker sounding song. And if it's like really like dark lyrics, I would have more of like a really somber, melancholic, or heavy song to fit the lyrics so that people can understand the emotions
Interesting.
that tie
What are
into the
some common
lyrics. Like if it's a
pitfalls
sad
in
song,
songwriting and
it
how
would
do you
be
avoid them?
a like more of a sad, like simple song, if you ask me.
Some common pitfalls in songwriting and how do you avoid them?
Usually things like, just if the lyrics don't tie in with the song, I like to kind of switch up the song, make it sound like it would go actually with the song instead of just a random song with like could be a completely happy melody and like a super depressing lyrics. So I would want it to mix and follow the lyrics to go fill in well with the song.
How do you incorporate feedback into your music writing process?
I like to get feedback from other people. I show people the demo and they'd give me feedback like, oh, that's a little bit loud in the mix, or I don't really like this here, and I'll be like, oh, okay, and then I hear it differently and be like, oh yeah, I can tell that's a little weird. So I would add it back, or I would delete it, maybe or maybe just change it around a little bit, come back and be like, hey, is it better now? And they'll be like, oh yeah, that's way better. Definitely keep it like that instead.
Definitely. So, can you play a simple demo for our audience, for
Yes,
our
I would love to.
audiences?
Band lab. Um, do you want me to just play it here on the computer?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay, let me skip to a good part of
The
the
only
song.
person that can stay by your side will never abandon you.
Yeah. So that's just a little snippet of that song. It's going to be much more finished once we release it, but for now it's very
Awesome demo. So, what role does technology play in your music composition?
It plays a pretty big role because I mean, how we started the band is we couldn't really find any full-on band members, like a guitarist and stuff. So we just decided to start on with online music and just go from there. And then um, we ended up really enjoying how the online music was sounding. So we decided we'd just continue on from that. And yeah, here we are. We just continue to make some music online, and it's just turned out really well for us. And I'm hoping soon enough we'll incorporate some more acoustic elements into our music. But for now, it's been going really good.
How do you adopt traditional music theory in modern compositions?
I do some music theory. I'm not well rehearsed in it, so I would mostly just, if I like a melody, I'd go along with it. But some music theory is needed. Like we do certain, like we have to like play certain MIDI piece in the song, and yeah.
What is your approach to writing harmonies or vocal lines?
A big approach to that is mostly on Julian's part. He just likes to write lyrics and then just sing. He's got a musical ear for vocals, so he'll usually just he'll just play he'll just hear the music and then we'll want to sing a certain thing to that, and it usually just ends up perfect. So that's what we do for all our songs, is he just figures out the vocals and stuff, and I'll just mix it or a create the backing track, and we'll both work on the music. He's just the one to take over on vocals for that.
How do you decide into the tempo and rhythm for a new piece?
um Usually it depends on just how the loop, like we try on a few loops and see how they sound, and if it's a little too slow for our taste, I'll want to speed it up a little bit, and then until we get it perfect. Like sometimes it'll be like not until way later into the song that either Julian or I will be like, hold on, it's kind of sounds weird of how fast that is, let's slow it down a little bit, or that's kind of slow, let's speed it up a little bit, you know.
Yes, for sure. What advice would you give to aspiring songwriters out there?
My message would be just, kind of don't give up on your dreams. Like if you really truly want to be like a musician, like a full-time band member, then you should definitely do that, because something like, if it's your passion, then follow your passion. Like despite whatever circumstances you're in, you should at least try it. Like, if you want to start a band, like look around for band members, like be like, hey, do you want to start a band? It'd be awesome,
Yes, yes, people, and stop procrastinating. Who knows? You will be the next, well, Lucas
Yeah.
Phillips.
Definitely.
So, how do you know when a composition is truly finished?
I usually know when it's finished once we both agree that it sounds about as good as it can be. Like it around once we're like, okay, yeah, I think this song's about done, like there's nothing like, usually it's not perfect until we don't have anything we have to say that's bad. We don't, if there's no flaws that we can hear about it. Like if it's got a good mixing job, it's got all the layers we want in it, then it'll be perfect for us. We'll be like, oh yeah, there we go. That's the song. We would just put vocals on it and set and release it.
There you go, people. Lucas Phillips. But before we go on, I'm inviting you to my other podcast, Food 101, our fourth season with Chef Alessandro, one of the best executive chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. So please do listen. Food 101. Plus, our books are out, not only one, but 13 volumes. People, Food 101, Volume 1, Basics until 13 is the only the books that you need. How to create a delicious food, available on Amazon and leading online bookstores worldwide. Speaking of books, people, also I'm inviting you to listen to my book 101 review, and please do listen to my latest episode. I interviewed one of Emmy and Grammy awardee, no other than Mr. Jason. He's the music director of Kelly Clarkson Show. So please do listen. Book 101 review. So, Mr. Lucas Phillips, can you please invite our listeners to support all your music? Mm.
Yes, for sure. Follow us. Follow all my bands on for Phillouette. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, um, YouTube, and all that. And then we're also on Spotify and Apple Music. And our current album, No Trespassing, we're currently remastering it with some new mixes and some even just full on rehashings of songs. And we'll have a new EP coming up for a release soon, and then a second album to be released later this year. And then with Prat Farti, we're currently on Instagram, TikTok. We're currently on Instagram and TikTok. And we'll have some new music coming out soon.
Yes, and you are most welcome to come back and promote all your albums.
Definitely.
So Mr. Lucas Phillips, thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you for having me on.
Catch you next month.
Yes, for sure.
Welcome, people. See you soon.